The first question in paper 2, lines in a triangle. Gives you a triangle, gives you the vertices, and it asks for the altitude through B, and it even draws it in case you forgot, and the median through A, and it draws it in case you know what it meant, and then it's a typical question, and then where they cross. Point of intersection for 8 marks. Well, what was it first of all? It was the one through B. So part A, well that means if you want the equation of a line, you need a point on it, I've got it, and it's gradient, don't have that, but I know it's the altitude, I know it's perpendicular, so I'll get the gradient of AC instead. So the gradient of AC, just go straight in with it, negative 24 take away negative 14, so I'll just put plus 14, 21 plus 9, so that's going to equal, where are we, negative 10 over 30, which is negative a third. And from that, I can get the perpendicular gradient because I know they multiply to give negative 1, so it's just change the sign, and reciprocal will be 3. And it looks like that, fairly steep. So, putting that together, for the first part we've got y minus b equals mx minus a, for the form I'm looking for, though I've not mentioned any a's or b's. And we're going to use the point 920, so y minus the y coordinate will be the gradient times x minus the x coordinate, and that's going to be a nice one, there's no fractions in it. So y equals 3x minus 27, but plus the 20, so minus 7. Next one was the median through A. Well, that means I'll need the midpoint. It hits the midpoint of the other side. So I have to figure out that midpoint. So that midpoint is going to be the average of these two. 9 plus 21 averaged for the x's, 20 plus, so it'll be minus 24 for the average of the y's, which means that the midpoint is going to be, that's a 30, so that's going to be a 15, negative 4, negative 2. Now you can get, for that line, now you can get its gradient. So the gradient, and I've called it AM, is going to be, I'll just put them in, 15, negative 2, will be the difference in the y's. Negative 2 take away, so it'll be plus the 14. 15 take away, so it'll be plus the 9. So that gives me a 12 over a 24, which is a nice little half. So now I can put it together. Y minus b is mx minus a. So y minus, just pick the point I had to begin with, so plus 14 will be a half of x minus, so just pick that, so it'll be a plus 9. I'm going to run out of room here, I'll just take that across to get rid of fractions. 2y plus 28 equals x plus 9, I'll have to write it over here. So finally, any form you like, I'll just put it as 2y minus the x is going to equal 19, but it'll be a negative 19. I couldn't be left out as plus 19 equals 0, but I'll just do that. And then the third part was, what's the coordinates of the point of intersection? For part C, well, you've got these two lines, 1 and 2. Substitute 1 in 2. So 2 is the main one, I'm writing 2 down, but wherever I see a y I put that in. So 2 times, not y, but 3x minus 7. Minus an x is negative 19. 6x minus 14 minus x is negative 19. So that gives me a 5x. That'll be plus 14, which leaves you with just a negative 5. And then finally x equals negative 1. So that's the x coordinate. And then we'll substitute that in the easier one, which is 1. So now y equals 3 of those negative 1's minus 7. So y is going to be negative 10. So here it is, point of intersection, negative 1, negative 10. Number 2, complete the square. 3 marks for this. Especially when you compare it to some other questions that you've got to do for 3 marks. So there we go. You'll all have your own way. So I'm just going to do it the way I do it. So first thing is, the pattern's nice and easy as long as it's just x squared. So take that 2 out of it. No matter whether it's a nice factor or not of the rest, that'll leave me an x squared and an 8x, and I'm not going to bother with the 5 because I know that's the thing that stops it from working. That's the part I want to complete the square, because this is going to become a square. But I know what that's going to become, because if I've got a square, the pattern is square the first, so that must have been an x. Square the last, that's the bit I don't know, that would complete it. And twice the product, so that must be a plus 4. So doubling that gives me that 8. And now that I've done that, I can take a step back and say, that should have been square the last, that should have been a 16. Except I wasn't there, so I'll have to take it away. But not from there, I'll take it away from here. So 2 16s though, so minus 32. So in the end, it's just going to be that, minus 27. Now, is that worth 3 marks?